Today we're gonna talk about perspective. This time we're gonna cover 2-point perspective, and this is gonna be probably a more shorter video than the 1-point perspective because I'm not using 2-point perspective that much. It's for me, I usually think about when I try to do objects in a sort of angle, in a specific angle, or if I'm just trying to figure out, okay, how would this stand or something like that. But no, 2-point perspective is not the thing I use the most of the time. But just to explain it, like I said before in a previous video, there are great videos out there that explains the science and the math of these perspectives. But I'm just gonna show you the basic of it. Okay, so for this we have 2 points. Okay. 2 points in each end. Now they don't have to be like this. They can be 1 point up here or 1 point here and the other point here. Okay? They can be pretty much anywhere. So remember that. But what you get when you have 2 points is a shared horizon. And I usually say from this point you're only gonna go like this. And between these, okay? Not usually do they go on this side, mostly just inwards. So for this, as you can see, we're gonna get a kind of a grid, a 3-dimensional grid. Like this is the floor, this is the horizon, and now we're gonna get the upper third or 3D grid. So we're gonna get this, okay? So I'm just gonna make this a little bit thicker just so you can see where the horizon is, okay? This is the horizon line, okay? Now for instance, let's say we're gonna make some boxes, okay? On the horizon, let's jump back. Let's make it like this, okay? You remembered in the previous video where I talked about the lines and some lines didn't change, they didn't get affected by the 2 points or the 1 point in that video. Well, in this video only these are okay. Now these are a big no-no. Why? Because now we have 2 points, so there are no straight lines. Perhaps for the horizon, but you should not put anything like right on top of the horizon with a line like this, okay? So these lines are the ones that's okay now. And for this, let's make 3 boxes, okay? We're gonna put 1 box up here and 1 on the horizon and 1 beneath. So for this, I'm gonna go and make just a line, and I'm gonna make another line and another line. So this is the width of our boxes, okay? And this is the middle line that we're gonna work from, okay? This line is muy importante, okay? So from here we're gonna go towards that point, and from the middle line again we're gonna go towards that point, okay? Now the height of the box is gonna be around here, okay? We're not gonna make it a typical square box, but from here, whoop, to there, from the middle to there, okay? So now we have 2 sides of the box, but now we need the underside of it. So now we're gonna change things up. From here now, from this point, we're gonna go like so. And from this corner that we have created, we're gonna go towards that point. So as you can see now, if I take, let's see, we take the eraser and we erase some of the lines here, just so you can see a little bit more clearly what we have created. Okay, and let's remove the middle one and such. As you can see, now we have a box with an underside, like such, right? So let's continue. Now we put a box on top over the horizon. So same thing goes here. We're gonna go from there to there. We're gonna go from here towards that point. And beneath now, we're gonna go upwards from the middle to that point. And like such. And we're done. We have a middle box, okay? With just two sides. Because here's the thing. Every time you put something on the X or Y angle, or should I say when it's a straight line like this, or it's a straight line like this in the one point, it's gonna be only two sides. But when you are between, you're gonna get three sides of an object, okay? If it's a square, as a box kinda shape. Beneath, we're gonna go the same thing we did with the other box, and we're gonna have the lower, and this you can see now. Let's go up here. As you can see, we get a kind of a very sharp edge. You can, you know, take this point and move it the points further away from each other, so you get a more simple. If you want something sharp, then you push the points closer together. And we're gonna go and do like so and like so. Okay, so now we have, let's remove some lines here so we can get some cleaner work here. We have the three boxes here. And this is pretty much 2-point perspective. Now, why don't I use this much? Why don't I use this method so much? Well, mainly because I'm not so good right now at you know, doing buildings and such like that. This method, 2-point perspective, is very good in using when you're constructing perhaps a room or cityscapes or landscapes and such like that. Then it's really good to have, because you get the you know, the 3D kind of grid where you can build things on. But I am gonna show you something else that I'm trying to use this for. As I said before, you get a 3-dimensional grid. So for instance, if I put a character here, okay, and I'm gonna have the character, you know, be in a kind of a hero pose kind of thing. So let's put his torso like this. What I'm gonna use is the floor, and I'm actually gonna move this a little bit more up here. What I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna use the floor to show you kind of where he stands, or how he should stand. Because if I draw this now, he's gonna be standing in an angle, okay? That's the point of the character. Let's see, I'm gonna go and do this actually. I'm gonna change his leg here. So he stands kind of like so. Not so wide superhero pose. But let's put him like this, okay? So imagine that we have the horizon here now, and he's standing here. His leg, his further leg, this leg that I'm drawing on now, is actually gonna be behind him a little bit. Not much, but enough so that we can feel that he's actually, you know, standing in a 3-dimensional space. Okay, so he has his one foot here, and the other foot is gonna be here. And why is that? Well, it's because the 3-dimensional grid that we did is actually telling me how to put his feet. Actually, it tells me that his feet here needs to be a little bit down here. Okay, because his feet are in line like this, with the line that goes to this point. But also I can get a more 3-dimensional view of it and feel like, okay, he's actually standing on something here. And this is also used for the 2-point perspective in my book, because I can get a more clearer feel if is it really, because you can see here I'm already made some mistakes here. If I follow the kneecap here and go here, you can see that, oh, I missed the knee here. And then I can correct myself and use it to, okay, so his knees and feet has to be the same, because, you know, his left knee, or in this case from our point of view, his right knee is not supposed to be way higher up. It's supposed to be in accordance with the lines. Same thing with the hands. If I do one hand here, okay, follow the line. So his hand should be here somewhere, okay. And so we have to put the hand somewhere around here. Same thing here. We can follow up here and get, okay, so now it's kind of correct here. Now we're getting it. But we can see here, oh, the shoulder should be a lot more like this. And then we can get, you know, to correct some anatomy problems that we probably didn't see because we didn't have any perspective to show us, okay, so this is how it's supposed to be. As you can see, I'm changing the head a little bit so we get a better looking head. So you can see, well, now we have some okay anatomy here. Maybe he should be a little bit longer in the feet or something like that. Maybe his feet should be a little bit more like that. But as you can see, now we can use it to kind of correct ourselves and guide ourselves in, okay, so how should it be? How far away is the leg? Should the feet be equally kind of like, okay, so maybe this feet should be even bigger. Once again, now we have the points very close to each other, but it's a good way to show, okay, how does it feel? Because whether or not we're thinking about it as a human, but it's also a object. Everything like here it has to be kind of like built as squares if we put it together, so to speak. So the shoulders and everything, they're gonna go together, because in the end, if we put the human in a box, it has to work and be connected, so it kind of gets, you know, to a volume of sorts. Okay, so a 2-point perspective can show you, okay, so how would it work? Should the shoulder be more up? And then of course you can always put these rules aside a little bit, because you also have to, you know, think about your artistic style, your style. If your art style isn't, you know, realistic, or isn't, you know, bound by the rules of anatomy, and can be a little bit more extreme, a little bit more dynamic, or perhaps a little bit more, you know, out there, then just use this as a guide rule to you know, show you, okay, this is how it looks if it's, you know, in a 3-dimensional space, and okay, so this is the reality. But if it looks bad, okay, then don't use it. But it's a good way to show, if you want to, you know, have a little bit influenced by reality, this is the 3-dimensional view of it. Okay, so, and the head should be something like in a box like this. Okay, so you can see, if we build it, now we have built the human kind of like this, put it in squares like this. Okay, so this is just showing us in a 3-dimensional space what those blocks would look like. And you can also, you know, you can put but maybe the torso also, if you want this to show, okay, like that. You can put everything, you can scale it up so you can have every part of the body. If you want just the, you know, the torso here, maybe the stomach in one piece, maybe the first part of the leg and then the second part, okay, you can split it up if you want to, if it makes you, you know, easier for you to like that. But it's a way to show, if you want a character perhaps in this 2-point perspective kind of building, or maybe it's a room or a hallway, if you do it like that, because you can put, let's say we're gonna put a door here, and we're gonna put like a door here. Maybe this is a room or a hallway. Let's say it's a hallway that goes, okay, so the hallway goes like this, and then it goes way back to that point over here. Same thing here, and it goes, oh, and then you can see, okay, so the door here must be, you know, directed correctly, so we get the right size of the door and everything like that. And maybe you have something that goes out from it like this, and maybe we have the camera behind, kind of like it's impossible shot, where the camera is kind of like built into the wall or something like that. And then we can remove the perspective, and you can see that we have pretty much a hallway here. Perhaps there's some stuff here. Remember, everything is this is why you sometimes need the support lines, so to show you, okay, so here are the lines, here is where it goes, and such like that, to follow like such. And then we can remove the perspective, and then you see, okay, so now we have a hallway in a very kind of fisheye way here. But also, if you want to say, okay, so let's say the light source is kind of like here. Okay, so the light is coming like this. Then we know that, okay, so here the shadow is gonna become like so. So we can also get some on the floor where everything should be. If there's a box beside him here, okay, then the lines would be straight, but the lines otherwise are affected by the 2-point perspective, and now I kind of messed that up a little bit. Yeah, and go like such. Yeah, and the light comes from that side, and then we're gonna have like such. There we go. As you can see, the perspective isn't always clear, because as you can see, we have very tight, and I put a very large character into a very small 2-point perspective. This would be probably a lot better if the points were somewhere perhaps, way further out, so we can get some more, realistic. This is now a kind of fisheye because we have it so narrow. But you can see how it, implies to, characters and buildings and structures and such like that. So please remember that when you're using it. Like I said, there are a lot of good videos that explains it a little bit better, more scientifically, and the math behind it if you're very interested, because 1-point, 2-point, and 3-point perspective is very good when you're gonna do buildings and you're gonna design structures and stuff like that. For me, that's more interested in the human and stuff like that. Maybe not so much. But I hope you have learned something from this, and I will see you in the next video. Please let me know what you want to learn about. Perspective was a request, so I did it. And I will try to do some things that I think you can have some good knowledge from, and some tips and tricks. But please, if there's something you want to learn about, even if it's small or if it's big, please let me know in the comments below, so I will try and make a video of it later, okay? And I will see you in the next tutorial video. Bye!